Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com, is brought to you by Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever, and by RockAuto.com, all the parts your car will ever need.
Well, welcome back to Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com. Well, we have Darwin Gilmore, the Dean of Workforce here at the college, back with us. Darwin, you're a little bit early, my man. We're not done yet.
I need my truck, brother. How soon are we talking?
Well, I'll tell you what, Dave's found the actual misfire. Dave's good like that. But you know, Rock Auto hooked us up with a bunch of coils, all 8 of them in spark plugs. So your truck's going to be good for 200,000 more miles. You're not going to have any more issues. Now, you're running errands and stuff, this business industry partnership. Tell us a little bit about it. What's going on here?
You know, the skills gap is such a problem, and you've proven that business and industry partnerships work and work well. Our partnership with Rex Lumber teaches them how to work on hydraulics, pneumatics, motors, PLCs. These things are a necessity to make an automated factory work. We also have a business and industry partnership with the state of Florida, the Arson Group, where we're building a unit that helps dispose safely of explosives. Another one I'm thinking of, construction. We have recently finished our first program with Habitat for Humanity, where we built a house from the ground up with our instructor, with our students. And, you know, the apprenticeship we're about to launch with the Law Enforcement Academy and a local agency is going to be groundbreaking for us. So, yeah, we got stuff to do. We're in a hurry.
Yep. You know, at Tech Garage, we're all about business industry partnerships, but we better get your truck finished. I know Dave's chomping at the bit, so why don't you get those parts over to him? And meanwhile, I'll show you guys an actual business industry partnership demo right here, which is really cool, man. LKQ, Holly, everybody stepped up to the plate, and they give us one of the coolest training demos on the planet. Now, let's talk about that engine, how to misfire. But let's say, for example, you had spark and you had fuel. Well, now you have an engine problem, so you have to check the mechanical integrity of your engine. Let's start out with a first test, pretty simple one called a vacuum test. So what I did here is I took the gauge and I hooked it up to a vacuum source. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to run this motor. And when I run the motor, watch the gauge. We'll see if we have vacuum here. And I love the vacuum and I love the motor. That was showing about 15 or 16. That's pretty good. You want anywhere from 15 to about 22 inches of mercury. Matter of fact, take a look at this graphic right here. You can see normal vacuum is 17 to 21. Low vacuum can be anywhere from 5 to 10. Steady vacuum, but low. Check the timing. You got a vacuum leak there. If the gauge is flicking or fluctuating, a lot of time that's an actual valve issue. Or if you hold it to 2,500 RPM and it slowly drops to 0, well, then you have a clogged exhaust. So you can check that, or a catalytic converter. That's the first test. Now, the next one you want to do, it's an actual compression test, and I can demo that for you as well. Take it, blow the spark plug, get the stuff away from it, get the engine up to operating temperature. Then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and remove the spark plug. I'm going to pop this one off down here, and then I'm going to remove this spark plug right here. Now, of course, I ran the engine, so these headers are burning hot, so I'm going to try to be careful. And you do the same at home. Just let the engine get a little bit warm. You guys can see the spark plug come out of the hole. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the compression gauge, and I'm going to insert it where the spark plug was. Now, why do I want to do that? I want to check the compression or the pressure that the cylinder's making. Come up to the top of the motor here. I'm going to block the throttle wide open so you guys can make sure we got full air going in and coming out. And then I'll hook up the gauge. And when I hook up the gauge, what I want to do is I want to run it through 4 compression cycles or 4 puffs. I'll disconnect the ignition so the car doesn't start. And then I'm going to go through 4 puffs. So if you guys watch the gauge and get real close on that, you'll see it come up as we start to get compression. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's showing about $150. This engine's in good shape. If you had low compression, you'd have an issue. Now we can actually take a look at this graphic here, kind of talks a little bit about it. My cylinder compression gauge. It's in good shape if they're all together. If you got more of the cylinders low, 20% around, you got a tired engine. If one or more cylinders low, it's just gonna be that, hey, I wanna check that cylinder and see what's going on. If they're adjacent cylinders side by side, you could have a head gasket problem. Now that's a good look at compression, but if you had an issue or low compression, you'd want to run a cylinder leakage test. And you don't want to miss that, so stick around. There's plenty more Tech Garage right after this break. We'll run that test.